Hi, Charity. Hi, everybody. Thanks again for joining us today. We have our presenters are here, which is great. Our group is supposed to be at about 28, and Jenny from Sagehill and I are just going to let them in. As we go through, we'll record this and then we can share it. I think this will be a really instrumental tool for all of our organizations, and I'm happy to share this link with you as well to be sending off to your clients as a referral, because I mean, it's not very often that everybody is in a roundtable virtually like this, and I think that just this resource will be very helpful. Before we get started, I just want to read a land acknowledgement. I live in Roster, and that's where I am, and I'm in Treaty 6. So as we gather here today, I acknowledge that we're on Treaty 6 territory and homeland of the Métis. We pay our respects to the First Nations and Métis ancestors of this place, and we reaffirm our relationship with one another. So thanks again for joining. My name's Jessica Rorson, and I'm working with Sagehill and the Ibdssk program, just helping facilitate some of these virtual training sessions. We've been doing this for a number of years now and have an array of topics coming up throughout the course of this year and into the next year. The goal for today is just like I mentioned as I invited you as a panelist. So I had emailed everybody the questions, and we're just going to go through and try to have kind of a casual conversation versus you standing up front and giving us your PowerPoint. I thought that just having a more friendly conversation about what everybody's doing would be fun. So with that being said, maybe I'm just going to start by asking Jenny Glessman to please introduce yourself and your organization. That would be great.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jenny Glessman, and I work with the Sagehill Community Futures Office in Bruno. That's where our office is. We also hold the contract for the Indigenous Business Development Services, which is for the whole province. So welcome, everybody.
Perfect. Maxine, maybe you want to go next and just introduce yourself and the organization you're here representing.
Good afternoon, everyone. So many familiar faces and some I haven't met before, so this is really nice. Thank you so much for putting this together. My name is Maxine Redikoff. I'm with Clarence Campeau Development Fund in Saskatchewan. Is that about it? I'm not sure what.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. You know what? And then we'll just, if you don't mind, we'll just go Brendan, Charity, and then Tia, and we'll just go around that way.
Sure. So thanks, Jessica. My name is Brendan Demery. I'm Métis, and I work for the Gabriel Dumont Institute. So we have some supports for Métis business owners who are looking to get access to training, among some other supports. So I'll leave it at that. And yeah, thanks for the invite, everybody.
Hi, my name is Charity Chaboyer. I'm with SaskMétis Economic Development Corporation. I'm the Economic Development Coordinator here, and it's nice to see you all.
All right, I think I'm last. My name is Tia Larocque Graham. I'm from Waterton Lake First Nation in Treaty 6 territory, and I'm currently working for Saskatchewan Indian Institute of Technology's Powatsikewigimik Innovation Collective, and we're located here in Saskatoon, but we're supporting Indigenous innovation and entrepreneurship right across the province. So really excited to talk to you about some of the different initiatives that we have to support the Indigenous innovation ecosystem here.
That's great. Thank you, Tia. I really like that, the innovation and the ecosystem. That's brilliant. Jenny, can you please tell us about the demographic of individuals that your team works with? For example, are you available across the province? Do you serve a specific group of people?
Okay, so I'll start maybe with the Community Futures program. We actually have 13 offices across the province. We are completely rural, so we do not take in the cities of Saskatoon or Regina. So depending, like us here in the office of Bruno and our Sagehill office, we go all the way like up to Duck Lake. We go over to the outskirts of Saskatoon, like Clavette. We go all the way down to Imperial. and then we go all the way over to like Watson, Quill Lake. So we're quite a large region. But we do have a website that lists all 13 offices. So if anyone is looking for an office, you just type the community into our website and it'll tell you which office to go to. So we deal with all small business owners, whether it's startup or if they're looking to purchase an existing business. And so that's a little bit about the Community Futures program. The IBDS program, it is across the province. We work with entrepreneurs to get, look at their idea, see if it's feasible. We'll help with their business plans. So but we are province-wide with that one.
That's great. Thanks, Jenny. And Maxine, the same question. If you could tell us about the demographic of individual your team works with, etc.
Okay. So our organization is a little bit unique. We provide financing for Métis entrepreneurs only. The province is divided into different regions, and between our office in Saskatoon and the China office, we're able to cover the entire province of Saskatchewan. So yeah, we have a variety, 10 different programs that we can offer to Métis entrepreneurs.
That's great. Thanks, Maxine. And Brendan.
Sure. Thanks, Jessica. So the demographic of clients that we serve, they are Métis individuals. They just have to be a Saskatchewan resident. We do have quite a wide range, but typically we're only able to support programming from age 18 plus. If they're under age 18, there's other programs that we usually refer clients to. So yeah, that's kind of the basic demographic. All kinds of businesses are eligible to apply. There's a couple that aren't, but I'd be happy to talk with somebody about their business idea and if there's something we can help them with.
Perfect. Thank you. And Charity, can you tell us about the demographic of individuals your team works with?
It's just the same as GDI and CCDF. We also offer entrepreneurship supports only to Saskatchewan Métis entrepreneurs, so just in Saskatchewan and anywhere in Saskatchewan.
Perfect. And Tia.
All right. So I think our initiative is a little bit unique in that we're not limited by certain age demographics. So we actually find that by trying to increase supports for people at a young age, they're more likely to pursue innovation and entrepreneurship. So a lot of our initiatives start as young as kids in like kindergarten, and we've like been able to support people all the way up into like elders. Like I don't make them write down their age. So we're really unique in that sense. And because we have like funding coming from a bunch of different pools, we can usually find a way to support people. So in terms of like our funding programs, we do give preference to First Nation status and non-status people, just because we know that a lot of the other initiatives like Clarence, Campeau, GDI are funding specifically Métis. So it's not to say that we wouldn't fund those businesses, but we're giving preferences to other pools first. But we're always trying to find ways to support. So if we can't catch you in this batch, we'll probably find a way to support you over here. So as long as you're a Saskatchewan resident and you identify as Indigenous, we will find a way to support you and help make your business dreams a reality.
That's great. Thanks, Tia. Jenny, can you please share what your primary service offering is for your clients?
Well, we're known about loans, about loans, advice, and support. And most people, when they think of the Community Futures program, they think of the loans. We can offer anywhere up to $150,000 to one entrepreneur. And we also do what's known as character lending, not formula lending. So lots of times we look at what the entrepreneur is bringing, what their background is, and things like that. But that's when people think of the Community Futures program, that's probably what they think of first. I'm also going to put my IBDS hat on. Our main thing is is advice and helping get their business idea up. Lots of times it's somebody just with an idea. Maybe it's something that they're doing at home, and they're wondering if they can turn it into a business idea. And that's where they'll work one-on-one with our consultant to see if it is a feasible business idea. That program doesn't have any financing, so we lots of times then turn to other ones for financing, but we help them get their business idea ready to present.
That's great. Thanks, Jenny. Yeah, Maxine, if you could also just share what primary service offering is
So
to
like
your
I
clients.
mentioned, we have the 10 different programs and services that we offer to Métis entrepreneurs. Our repayable loans are 0% interest, and we have some grant programs as well. We have a few different women-specific programs. And I just wanted to share a little stat. So since 1998, 36% of Métis businesses were in our portfolio were women-owned. In 2022, 50% of the projects approved were women-owned businesses. So that just goes to show the strength of women coming to the table. So I thought that was really impressive.
Thank you. We see that, Jenny and I, we work with so many different entrepreneurs, running these different training sessions, and a lot of women are engaged and taking part in training and different initiatives and really kind of digging into what resources are potentially available to them. So I think it's just, I enjoy that myself. Anyways, Brendan, can you please share what primary service offering is for your clients? Now, obviously, GDI is very robust. I think that if we just want to talk mainly about the Pathways to Entrepreneurship program would be great, unless you think that there's something else relevant at this time.
Well, I'll drop a really quick summary for anyone listening, but yeah, GDI, like traditionally we're known as the educational institution for Saskatchewan's Métis. So when you think about that, I mean, we have funding for things like university programming. We have an apprenticeship program to fund people through the trades, as well as adult basic education, technical training courses, and pretty much any outside training institution. We have programming available if you're underemployed or if you need education to be advancing in your field of work. So, but outside of that, with our Pathways program, we don't do lending or financing. So you're going to want to talk to Clarence, Campeau, or SmedCo if you're thinking that you'll need, some capital to start up the business. However, though, at GDI, we do a lot of aftercare supports. So, or even initial supports. Let's say you want to take an entrepreneurship training course. We may have some funding that you can apply for that. Or if there's industry specific training, if you're, say, an existing business owner and you want to level up and take some industry training that can directly lead to expanding your business, we may have some funding for things like that. So in terms of our most used supports, I would say training, we have quite a few options for that. And then professional services, it's more like you're maybe not going to be an expert in your own field of work. So let's say you need a legal advising or first year financial statements completed by an accountant. We have funding available to kind of pair you up with an expert in that area to hopefully support you and your business. We can support business planning as well. So there might be a client who might not need lending, where we can help them in that space. Otherwise, we usually recommend that they work with their lender to get a third-party plan completed through Clarence, Campeau, or SmedCo. But those are some of the main supports. And then for brand new startups, we have kind of an EI fund that they can tap into for up to 6 months just to help them out during that initial startup phase. And then we do workshops as well. So yeah, picture us more as kind of like aftercare supports as well as like education kind of at the start.
That's great. Thanks, Brendan. Do you find that some of your, the clients that are maybe in some of the training programs, are they working, let's say, at trades, and then they end up in the Pathways program because now they're ready, they want to start their business? Like, are you guys branching,
Yeah,
off
for
and
sure.
kind of...
We've actually seen quite a few clients who have started in the trades.
Mhm.
You know, GDI can fund them to take their technical training, and then maybe they started on a wage subsidy that we have set up with an employer. And then once they become a journey person, sometimes they do apply through our Pathways program. Sometimes it's to take additional training credentials in kind of entrepreneurship space and management. Just to kind of give you details, it's called a Blue Seal certification. But yeah, outside of that, we've seen quite a few clients. Some of them have started small and maybe they already had some tools, you know, renovating houses and so forth, who have, you know, we've put together some self-made plans and supported them for additional training. You know, maybe they need let's just say, I don't know, a welding ticket or a gas fitting ticket so that they can install, you know, furnaces and stuff. Those are things that we've funded, but also kind of that entrepreneurial training piece. We see a lot of kind of requests for that. So it's cool because, for example, we have a client, Lorenz Arsenault. He owns a Mr. Reuter plumbing and heating franchise in town. He started as an apprentice, then he started franchising his own plumbing company, and now he actually has 2 apprentices hired with the partnership of GDI, and we've supported him a lot through his business. I think one of the lenders here as well might have him on file, but he's just been a great success story that we like to share and see that full cycle kind of take place. And that's what we're hoping to do is, you know, create wealth within the Métis ecosystem and, you know, produce products and services locally. So
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
yeah, thanks, Jessica.
And Charity, can you please share what your primary service offering is for your clients?
So we also offer loans and grants and some business services, such as we could help with business plans, etc. We offer our directory now. We just started it a couple of years ago. It's for Métis-owned businesses. They need to be verified that they are or certified that they are Métis. So that's one of our bigger projects we're working on right now. We're also coming out with a new program in the near future, a women's program. So that isn't out yet, but hopefully in the next little while, I keep saying we're gonna get that out here shortly. So
That's great. When you say grants, can you just elaborate a little bit on how that works in terms of accessing a grant?
well, it depends because every situation is different. I know sometimes they combine the loan. Part of it will be a loan and then part of it will be a grant. So I can't really say for sure, like, because like I said, every situation is different and I don't deal with the loans and grants here. So, nor do I want to.
Yeah.
But we'll just leave it to the guys in the back, but that's what they do. So I don't want to really say just because I don't 100% want to say, oh yeah, you can get a grant for this much, but
I understand.
it's for every situation's different. So it varies.
So in that way, it's maybe more of like a non, what is it? There's portions of potentially maybe of a loan that are you're not needing to pay back. And it's based
Yes.
on the situation and an equation and all that. So
All that,
every every person is unique in that. And
sure,
I
yeah.
think Clarence, Campeau, Maxine, similar. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. So yeah, the same as Charity. It's very specific to the project. So yeah, Charity is 100%. We have to. There's different variables that need to be looked at before we can determine the amount that's the non-repayable portion.
And for both of you, is there a minimum amount that a person can borrow? Like, do you have like a line of credit, or is there a dollar amount that is kind of a minimum and a top end?
Not for CCDF, but because every project needs a business plan, we want to make sure that the project is of a decent portion to justify the cost of the business plan.
For sure. Mhm.
Yeah.
And Charity, the same for you? Not really a minimum or a maximum?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay.
There was a question in the chat. Do you want us to look at those right now as we're going? This one just says, I'm a status First Nation and I'm also Métis. Does being status disqualify me from the Métis grants, loans, and initiatives?
Yeah, I know for us, you need to have a Métis card, so that would with our group, so
Yeah, charities, right, like most of the like the M&S will do a search to see if you have status, and if you do, then they won't issue you a Métis card. So more of the Métis programming is moving towards requiring a status card. Most of GDI programs, however, don't require a Métis card yet, but we're kind of moving towards that direction. So for example, our university programming, it requires a Métis card. So but if Maxine wants to chime in too, feel free.
Very much the same as Charity and Brendan.
Mhm.
Perfect.
And what are you seeing now in terms of the timeline, the processing times for people to get a Métis card issued? Are you seeing things speed up?
if you have someone Métis in your family, like let's say my dad already had his Métis card and I applied after him, all I would have to put on my registration form is that my father got his Métis card, here's his name, here's his number, and it's kind of quicker. So even if you have like a first cousin or an aunt or uncle, you can list on your application. I know it kind of runs smoother because they already have your family tree, they already have everything needed. So not sure the turnover rate right now, but I mean, I got mine pretty quickly, so.
Yeah, I was starting from scratch and I think mine came pretty quickly as well. It was my own delay that was the issue, not them. So
Yeah.
And Tia, can you please share what your primary service offering is for your clients?
All right, so we have a lot, so I'll try to kind of skim through quickly. So we developed the Meoskimen Innovation and Entrepreneurship Applied Certificate Program. So that's a 5-month program that teaches you how to start a business from an Indigenous lens, incorporates how to run a business plan, how to market yourself, how to ideate, but also some land-based teachings, and comes with the guidance of an auntie in residence, so that alongside of your instructor, you also get that holistic support, recognizing that for a lot of our entrepreneurs, this is the first time that they're away from home if they're coming from community. So making sure that we're giving them that well-rounded support so that they can be successful. We also have the Greg Yule Fellowship, thanks to funding from PIC Investment Group. We're still accepting applications for that program as well. If you know of any Indigenous entrepreneurs, they have to be in business for a minimum of 2 years. And this is really to help support them with kind of growing, expanding, and taking their business to the next level. So maybe they just need help reaching that next level, taking it to a larger market. And this is one way that we can bring in industry experts to support them, as well as get that guidance from the rest of the cohort. So that's looking to start in the next few weeks, but we are still trying to look for a few more participants if you know of anyone who's interested. The Meoskimen program as well, we've run 2 cohorts of students through that program with 22 successful graduates. We'll be launching our 3rd cohort in January, and applications for that are live on the website as well. We also offer funding supports. So we have a micro grant program that's non-repayable. So up to $5,000 for people who are looking to start or expand their existing business. So a lot of times we found like $5,000 might not seem like a lot of money, but when you're looking to get started, that's that money that can help you secure your business name, can help you get the training opportunities that you need, can help you to buy the technology needed, just so that you can take your business to the next level, right? And for a lot of the entrepreneurs who have used that funding source, they've told us that that was the one thing that kept them going, that boost of confidence that somebody believed their business was viable. Was the thing that kept them in business and kept them pushing through. So yeah, Marlon in the chat has received one of those grants before, and it's nice to see him coming in as like a mentor for some of our next generations for entrepreneurs as well. And then there's wraparound supports. So if you need to attend a conference or a training opportunity, but maybe you can't afford the airfare or the hotel or the conference fee, maybe you have an opportunity, but you also need help with like childcare. So we can use this funding to like send family members with you so that you can participate and kind of remove some of those financial barriers. And then we have the Maker Lodge and the Mobile Maker Lodge, which provide access to the technology and resources needed to participate in innovation. So we started out with just sewing machines and teaching ribbon skirt workshops, and then we branched out into crickets and doing orange shirt workshops. And then we're now starting to kind of pair that with industry partners across the province as well. So one of our SIT students this year was able to design an orange shirt for us. And instead of doing it in-house with the cricket machines like we did last year, we had them mass produced at Hard Pressed. And through that collaboration, he was able to get confidence in his business as he moves forward. And we were able to raise $13,000 for residential school survivors across the province. The Mobile Maker Lodge, I call it like our Oprah initiative. We drive out to First Nations communities in our Durango and we give them themed technology kits worth $10,000 and plant some seeds for how they could use that technology to generate a business. So instead of waiting for them to come to us, we're going to them to show them that their voice matters and that we want them included in that conversation. And just saying, now that you have access, what can you do with it? So seeing some exciting businesses being born out of that as well. And then we have an Innovator in Residence program. So recognizing that none of us are innovators or entrepreneurs coming into this. I was a counselor before I came here, trying to make sure that our students and our entrepreneurs have access to the best of the best. So I know when you're starting a business, they tell you if you need advice from someone, offer to buy them a coffee. But a lot of times if you're a budding entrepreneur, you don't have the money to buy somebody a coffee. So we bring in people like Tanya LaRose and Don Pratt from Askie Newtow STEM, Jordan Wapas from the Res Life, and they offer free office hours for our entrepreneurs. They bring in people from NACA and teach them how to write grants. They connect them to their network of supports and help them kind of make those huge leaps by giving them access to a whole other world of supports that wouldn't have been possible without that initiative. So doing a lot of stuff. Oh, and then we also do STEAM camps. So that's how we're trying to catch people early. So we're going out into communities and teaching youth STEAM camps with kids as young as 5. But we're noticing that when we go out, the whole community is coming to be involved. So we've been able to teach like 5-year-olds how to fly drones right alongside elders, and seeing that multi-generational knowledge sharing, that elders are able to teach them some of our traditions and they're able to teach them new ways moving forward. So it's a really good way to kind of spark some of those seeds. And we're seeing that while people might come in for the micro grant or the Maker Lodge or the Meoskimin program, we're seeing repeats of those names across all of our initiatives, because once you're in, it's kind of like we're building a little family. So yeah.
Thank you, Tia. I think this is really great. I'm not sure about the other people here on this call, but I am not familiar with all of the programs that SIT offers, and I'm amazed. And I so look forward to referring people to a whole host of the programming that is happening. That is absolutely amazing. So thank you very much. We have Terry, who's joined us from CEF, and we'll just get Terry caught up a little bit here on a few. He unfortunately was having some technical difficulties logging into the call. So I'm just going to start with, hi, Terry, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Sorry for being late.
No, that's okay. It's totally fine. I'm just going to start by, if you could just introduce yourself and the organization that you're here representing today, and then I'll ask you the next question after that.
Okay, it's Terry Brodziak. I'm the general manager with the Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, SIEF, S-I-E-F. We're just going through a year of rebranding. We were, our name used to be the Saskatchewan Indian Equity Foundation, and now we're moving to the Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation. that's who we are, and a new name, new logo this year.
That's great. Maybe you could just tell us a little bit about the demographics of the individuals that your team works with. For example, are you across the province, and do you serve a specific group of people?
Yeah, we specifically deal with First Nations entrepreneurs, basically across the whole province is our territory. We offer the SEEF Equity Contribution Program, which is a non-repayable equity financing program. We're one of, I think, 3 other organizations in the province that offer it. I believe CCDF has the program along with SMEDCO.
Perfect. Thank you. And then also, can you share what your primary service offering is for your clients? Now, you touched on the financing component of it. Is that your primary? And if not, is there other secondary?
Yeah, that is basically our primary focus. We deal with entrepreneurial financing. Like I said, both the non-repayable equity financing, and then we also offer loans, both commercial loans and agricultural loans, to individuals who are wanting to, set up a business, and we help them along the way. We will assist them with the business plan development as far as working with them and a consultant to develop a business plan, and then we move it along to what we call our stage 2, which is the equity financing and the lending portion of the program.
Okay, no, that's great. Thank you, Terry. Well, just so that you're aware, Terry, we're just kind of going through a roundtable discussion here. So we're going to start back up with Jenny from Sagehill, and then kind of go around, and you will be last to answer the next question. Jenny, yeah, for sure. Thank you. Jenny, can you please share one project that may stick out for you? What I know we kind of talked about, but maybe you're not answering this question, and you go ahead.
No, Sagehill, we're always involved in a lot of projects, and so are a lot of the community futures offices. And the one that I want to maybe just touch on is we do a lot of stuff with entrepreneurs with disabilities as well. So like right now we have what's called our Business Builder program. So it is for an entrepreneur and they just have to declare, and it can be a health condition or a disability, and this program will walk them through their business plan, projections, right through to helping them get open. So all of the community futures offices across the province are offering this program right now. So that's one of the things is the community futures. We also are always got projects on the go. Another one we have offering right now is the Go Digital. To help entrepreneurs become more digital, whether it be a brand package or if it be help with a website so that they can, become e-commerce. So, if someone's looking for, and sometimes there's some grant money involved, or some of these are for a very minimal cost. So that's some of the projects that, we're always excited about, because there's always seems to be a new one out there.
Thanks, Jenny. And I just want to expand a little bit on the Entrepreneurs with Disabilities program, because even for your own clients, if they're located in rural Saskatchewan and perhaps they have a health condition or a disability, maybe they need some type of assisted device for their disability, maybe a larger screen or something for somebody with vision or hearing impairments, or maybe if it's noise canceling headphones for their ADHD. Maybe they need a support person to just sit in your office with them to help fill out forms, a scribe. So just things like that. We tend to maybe overlook that sometimes people just need somebody there with them to help fill out loan applications and program documents, because it's very daunting. So the EDP program is there so that they would be able to hire someone for your client to work with them. So just keep that in mind. Maxine, can you please share one project or client that stands out to you, and what made that experience meaningful for you?
I had a really tough time with this question. I can't pick one specific client. Every project is meaningful in its own way. Whether it be, the women's program, helping the single mother who doesn't have that equity to put in, her own cash to put into a project, living paycheck to paycheck just to start her side hustle business. So we're there to support her. The business development programs that help with the 0% interest loans and hopefully a contribution with some grant funding on top of it, the business plan support, and then connecting them with other with Brendan at GDI or whatever affiliates we can help them out with. So I think all the supports are important in their own way, and all my clients are equally as important. There's not one that I can say that is more benefiting from our programs than any other one.
That's fair. Thank you, Maxine. Brendan, what about for you? Is there a client or project that stands out maybe for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's such a diversity, I suppose, in clients. And like I had mentioned earlier, our client Lorenz Arsenault, like he's trades focused and it's a fairly typical business, right? In terms of its structure and, its product or service. But yeah, I mean, just thinking like what comes to mind, there's a wide diversity. Like one girl we've worked with, her name's Michaela Carrier. She lives in the Cumberland House Delta kind of region in an area that's not even like serviceable by roads. So she has a Métis holistic wellness retreat as well as a lodge. So a lot of her customers were actually like overseas tourists from places like Germany and so forth. And like, it's just really cool to see how her business has kind of evolved over the years and incorporated new services and new products. So for example, we funded her to take some wilderness survival training because she was moving towards overnight kind of deeper expeditions with her clients, and obviously that would increase her revenues. So she was able to take a wilderness survival course training program through a vendor in the Rocky Mountains and receive some important training in that respect. And yeah, it's been a successful kind of business pivot for her. Other than that, though, I mean, there's been a ton of awesome women entrepreneurs as well as men. Like we work with an entrepreneur named Christine. Her business is Oasis Boutique, so kind of a smaller Indigenous fashion company located in Saskatoon. But we have other ones around the province as well. Even my own cousin started a clothing brand and has seen some success with that as well. But yeah, I remember she started very small with like just an idea, and then I think she made her first product, which was like a printed shirt, and she really kind of refined her branding a bit and her style and kind of leveraged it through lots of different partnerships in the Indigenous entrepreneur community. And I know that she's doing quite well, and she's done Orange Shirt Day events as well as like other products and stuff that she's launching. So yeah, there's a lot out there. I could probably talk about for a while, but I won't talk about them all.
Thank you. And Charity, what about for you?
Well, the same as them. Obviously, there's lots of clients that are good success stories, and we're proud of all of them. But I guess one thing that Smedco's done that we're quite proud of is one of the things we did, and I know it's been a little bit now, is our women's focus group we had. We brought 8 entrepreneurs from across Saskatchewan. We set up at the Saskatoon Inn, and we had a consultant come in, and we did a 1.5-day workshop with these women. And basically it was a more intimate setting where they could talk about entrepreneurship at more of a personal level rather than a business level. So it was like, there were tears, there was laughing, there was crying, there was, so it was really good for them because they felt like they could express everything they could, just because it was a smaller setting. When you're in a big setting like this, and they're probably not gonna talk about a lot of the things that they did. They talked about their struggles and their successes, especially women or even entrepreneurs up north, how hard it is to get certain supports up there. Basically, like being in the city is probably easier as an entrepreneur just to access all of the support. So it was nice having that. We had a really good response after that was finished. So we're hoping to run that focus group again. I'm going to try and do it either at the end of this year or early next year. So summer's been really busy. And another one we've been doing is our Métis Mingle. We've been getting out to, we just finished our third one in Regina. We had one in Prince Albert and Saskatoon. Basically just like a networking event for entrepreneurs to come and network, because like we all know, networking is one of the major, is a big thing you need to do in entrepreneurship. That's very important. So we buy them supper, we just sit around and talk and have some games and some prizes. So just getting together and having fun as well, I feel is important. And again, we had a good response with our mingles. So we're hoping to do more of those in the future. So keep an eye on we usually post everything on Facebook. So yeah, those would probably be the couple that stand out right now.
No, I think that's super. Thank you. And we'll be sure to, share as we see things pop up as well. And for you, Tia, what have you, what has stood out for you?
All of them. They're all my favorite. I definitely have big anti-energy and I want to support all of them and give them all huge shout outs. I think more so it's just like a mindset shift for me has been the thing that stood out the most, is that recognizing that Indigenous people are innovative. We've always been innovative and we want to compete in the Indigenous ecosystem and the Indigenous economy. And that when we give opportunities to people and we give them that safety, that they feel like their ideas are valued, it is incredible the ideas that come out of our First Nations people across the province. So thinking about Tyrone Bird, hopefully everyone knows who he is, but he is from the Loon Lake area. And like years and years ago, there was a fire in Makwasagaigan, and the town of Loon Lake failed to respond because the reserve owed them some money, and 2 children ended up dying in a house fire. So Tyrone Bird, who never received a grade 12 education, so he calls himself uneducated, I beg to differ, took it upon himself to be the change and be the solution. So he taught himself how to like weld and essentially be like a full like engineer, and he created a mobile fire caddy that fits in the bed of a truck so that you can siphon up water from like a ditch or a slough, fill it within 10 minutes and fight fire with a pressurized hose similar to like a fire truck for up to an hour. And because normally fire response has to come from neighboring towns, once their truck is empty, it takes them a long time to go back and refill, whereas this one you can be back in action really quickly. And I think one of the things that stood out to me the most about supporting him in his business is that he's not looking at it to be the next Steve Jobs or to make a ton of money. He was just like, I want Indigenous people to know that they're worth more than $10,000, which was the cost that that community owed. So he's went to like some other funding partners, but didn't want to like hand over a share of his business. Because naturally then people who come in also want to like generate profit. And he was like, I'm not finding people who see this the same way I do, that it's not about generating a profit off the safety of our people. So his whole business is essentially just to like create safety across the province. And now he has like at least 19 of them out across the province. And there was a fire in Red Pheasant last fall, and 6 of those caddies that he had sold to communities showed up to support that community in fighting fire. And he'll teach like youth how to use them and elders how to use them. And now he's created like a second expanded version that he named after his father, Fast Eddie Caddy, that can run 2 pressurized hoses at the same time. But just that whole mindset shift that he has, that it's not about financial wealth and well-being, it's about community wealth and well-being, and how can we create opportunities for other people and show them that representation is there and you can show up in new spaces. So we had so many applications in the first round of our micro grant funding for textiles business. And after sharing his story, we've seen like a huge flux in people from all, like a whole array of industries who are just like, if you have an idea and you can make it happen, like I can do that too. So now we're starting to see more of those like country and photography and like holistic well-being centers. And like, we're starting to see all of these different business ideas as a response to like sharing his story. So I just love that it's like kind of helped us branch out and create this whole other ecosystem and show people what's possible, that no matter where you're starting from, the world
That's
is
so great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Terry, can you please share one project or client that stands out to you and what made that experience meaningful?
Yeah, like the rest of the group here, we've had quite a few good businesses projects that have taken off, but one that comes to mind is Destiny Peter out of Regina, who owns Tangle's Hair Salon, who's a young gal who we helped her expand the business. She rebranded. She's taken on more or expanded her services. And actually, we're really proud because we nominated her for the National Woman Entrepreneur of the Year Award for the National Association of Capital Corporations, and she won that award last year. So we were happy for that as well. And the other one that I really like is Jacob Sinclair, who has a fitness business in Saskatoon, and through COVID, a lot of businesses were struggling, and he adapted very well, and he also was a national winner for us at our national association's organization, where we nominated him for adaptability through COVID, the things that he did that we were able to help him with some financing to get him through COVID, and actually he was able to increase the membership of his gym through COVID, where a lot of other organizations were losing that momentum. So yeah, those two come to mind as being sort of overly successful, I think.
Thank you, Terry. Just because of time, I'm going to skip over the number 5 question I had sent you, and I'm going to move into, how does your organization collaborate with other organizations who are currently around this table, this virtual table? Jenny?
We have in the past, the Community Futures offices, we do a lot of partnering, especially when it comes to financing. Sometimes, even the traditional lenders may do a building or the land, but the Community Futures program will come in and maybe do inventory. We might do down payments. So, and we have partnered with the ones around the table as well, the same way. We might do a small portion or a certain portion of the loans. So we do a lot of that. Lots of times I mentioned before with the Ibdssk program, we're helping with that business plan, the projection, so that they can then present to get financing and some of the grant money that's out there. So we're always open to partnering. And I know all the Community Futures offices are like that.
Thank you, Jenny. And Maxine, how does your organization collaborate with others around this virtual table?
Yeah, the different community futures within the province, we've partnered with every one of them. Medco as well, and Brendan and GDI being a big support for clients. So yeah, we've I believe there was a few projects even where the one client was Métis and the other being First Nation, and so we were with SEEP as well.
That's great. Thanks. Thank you, Maxine. And Brendan.
Yeah, thanks, Jessica. Yeah, we work very closely, and pretty much every single client that I've worked with, we've referred them to Clarence Campeau as well as Medco for lending and financing if it's in the cards for that client. So we try and keep that dialogue and referral communication very, very open. As well as like workshops, sometimes it's nice to partner with other institutions You know, I've been involved with some previous community futures workshops as well. Clarence, Campeau, and SMEDCO too. So we're just hoping to kind of leverage our connectedness, even in the First Nations space as well, to, you know, build bridges, build connections, build networking, so that hopefully you know, everyone's able to connect and find some strength in the programming that's offered. So yeah, I've seen a lot of familiar faces, and I hope to continue that.
That's great. Thanks, Brendan. And for you, Charity.
Just the same as Maxine and Brendan just said. Basically, we've been out to events with Community Futures. We've done info sessions with GDI. We've met with the government. We've met with Métis Nation. The only one I'd like to actually meet with is SIT. So Tia, I'll be messaging you shortly because your programs sound amazing, by the way.
I agree.
And I want to get to learn more of them because I'm just really learning now. So I would like to definitely get to partner with you guys and maybe make something happen there. I know we've been in workshops with SEEF in the past as well. So let's just keep going.
You know, I think that being said, Charity, thank you. I think that there's definitely further conversation that we should have after this. I think that having an in-person session next time where we invite people to come and gather this information themselves, I think would be very valuable. I really like this format in terms of just the versus a trade show type style, because people are intimidated to come up and talk to you. But this is, I think, could be a really nice format even in an in-person setting. So just going to throw that out there for now. Tia, how does your organization collaborate? And maybe not yet, but maybe now you will. And that's wonderful as well.
No, we definitely have done like a few collaborations. We've taken part in different meetings. Like I think I've been in one with like Brendan, and I'm not sure if Jenny was there, but some people from Community Futures as well. So I've met some of you virtually before, kind of talking about how we all support the ecosystem. But I think most importantly, like we want to be your champions. Like in order for Indigenous entrepreneurs as a whole to be successful, we really need to make sure that we're blanketing them in as much support as possible. So we need to know more about your organizations and your offerings so that we can work together and make sure that no one's kind of left behind and left out. So if you're running different programs and you think that we might be able to come in and help support, invite us. And like similarly, we'll invite you into our space as well, or our events. We're actually having one here in Saskatoon tomorrow in partnership with GDI and SITE. So we have a bunch of different entrepreneurs who are going to be showcasing their business here at our Saskatoon campus. That's tomorrow evening. But yeah, like reach out to me by email. I'm a super friendly person. I am a little bit busy, but I always try to get back to you. Come in, have tea, have a visit. I'll teach you to use some of the tech, and we can kind of talk about ways that we can collaborate moving forward. I do also think that planning some events together as a whole team would be like a great way, but maybe trying to find a way to make it a little bit less intimidating. But yeah, I think just more opportunities like this for us to all connect makes it easier for all of us to kind of move forward and make sure that everyone is well supported.
That's great. Thank you. And Terry, how does your organization collaborate with the other organizations around the table?
Well, we're always open to work with other organizations. I know that we've worked in the past with SMEDCO, CCDF, SIIT. We've gone into their classes and presented. Futurepreneur. We're just always open, as some of the others have mentioned. We're ready, willing, and able to take this message out. So whenever you need collaboration, just give us a call. We'll be there.
That's great. Thank you. I really appreciate this conversation today, and I'm just going to see if what's happening here in this chat.
I know there was an email address shared because somebody wanted the Maker Lodge maybe to come to their community. So I know that was shared. So does anyone have any questions, please? Because I know we have some people on that weren't part of the panel, but does anybody have a question, either unmute and ask or throw it in the chat, because we do have a few minutes.
Yeah. There's just one question here. If you don't qualify as a Métis, you can apply elsewhere as status. SEAF would be an example, Organization for Business Loan Assistance for your status people. You could also qualify for the Indigenous Women Entrepreneurship Fund. So that was just a comment made. Yes, Patricia said the IWE, Indigenous Women's.
Yes, and then you could also apply for a micro grant if you'd like. I saw Harmony. Oh, maybe that was Harmony who had asked the first time as well. Oh, sorry. So you can apply for that. We're doing kind of quarterly deadlines now. So we're just because we have a panel that meets because it's grown so much. So the panel decides who's accepted and who's we try to catch through another initiative, I guess. I don't want to say denied because we always want to support people. So the last deadline, the panel's meeting in a few weeks. So that one's kind of passed. But stay tuned on the website because we're accepting those every few months. And we also make sure that we're sharing on our social media handles at SIIT Live when there's an upcoming deadline.
Perfect. That's great.
I know one thing, a couple of the community futures offices are doing, we're actually having our economic development series, and we actually have a workshop grant writing, which is always seems to be huge for, it doesn't matter who the organization is, and you know, about volunteers, and there's a bunch of those that, you know, they're on our website. They're also on our Facebook page. If anybody's looking for, you know, that whole economic development piece, we carry that series as well.
Yes, thanks, Jenny. I'll send an email out to everybody in the group, the participants and the panelists, just with everyone's contact information, as well as you know, the different resources available. And so as presenters, if you have anything else specific that you want me to include, please send that to me and I will make sure to include it in the email to everybody. With that being said, I think this is really informative, and thank you all very much for joining today.
I'd just like to thank everybody on behalf of Sagehill and the IBDS, Indigenous Business Development Services. Thank you. And I look forward to meeting with everybody again.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great day.